Hi everyone, it's Ed back again with I Effin' Love Cinema, and this is an entry in Mes de Terror, the month of terror for October 2023. And today we're going to be talking about Rene Cardona III's 1989 movie, Vacaciones de Terror, or Vacations of Terror. This movie stars Gabriela Hazel and Pedro Fernandez. That's who he is. But I think a lot of us Mexican Americans, we know Pedro Fernandez. We saw him when he was a kid, and Pedro Fernandez definitely kind of has that coked out Mexican uncle energy throughout this movie. But honestly, overall, this movie is relatively tame for a good about 50 minutes. Right, the last 40 minutes of this movie is insane. It's just absolutely insane. Like, because the kids start acting really violently out of pocket, they just become bloodthirsty. And it's a hell of a thing to witness these little kids just be like, I was gonna kill you first, but now I'm gonna watch you suffer or some stuff like that. It's wild, and it really does a lot to save the movie for all the cool things this movie does. Right, in terms of having this like just balls out third act that they just go for it, like to the point where at some point a character is covered by snakes and the snakes are bleeding and they're partially skinned, and all I could think is like, man, they actually did that. They did that to those poor snakes. And that's fucked up. They just threw it on this poor actress. Which is pretty wild, and especially because it's like the Mexican film industry. They don't have as far as I know, the same sort of restrictions on not harming animals in productions, because clearly you see these snakes bleeding, which is insane. But it's just that sort of holy shit, I can't believe they're actually doing this. That sort of really carries the third act of this movie. Unfortunately, I really walked away kind of disappointed by this movie because for all its insanity, for all its ambition, for all the cool special effects that are here, they're kind of like charming in that cheap way, like you can kind of see how they did it, but it's cool that it gives a cool effect and all that. For all of that, the biggest letdown of this movie, it's directed like it was made for television. The lighting is very flat and very even, which is, you don't want that in a horror movie. It's so bizarre. It feels like everybody but the director and cinematographer showed up and understood the assignment, because like you're seeing all these things and yeah, they look cool and all that, but all I can think is just like, at no point does this film really settle into a good atmosphere for a horror movie. And that's a real damn shame, because all the elements are here. As it is right now, it's just like, it's a little too silly, and which is fine. Horror doesn't have to be serious, but horror does have to look like horror. And I think that's one of the fundamental things that all horror movies need to do. They need to have a vibe of a horror movie. And this movie, for some reason, just kind of misses the mark. And Rene Cardona has definitely done better work in this genre, but we'll get to that a little later. As far as Vacaciones de Terror, if you're gonna see it, just kind of see it because it's like a cool part of Mexican film history, mainly because this actually got a sequel and all that, which I will cover later on in Mes de Terror. So that's going to be it for today's entry in IF and Love Cinema. I got the Vinegar Syndrome box set with part 1 and part 2 on it. I haven't really checked out the extras, but it is, like always, a beautifully restored 2K presentation. Yeah, that's going to be it for today. If you've seen Vacaciones de Terror and you want to talk about it, make sure to do so in the comments. Hit like and subscribe. Until next time, peace.